Before I could start painting all of the interior components, a couple of photo etch pieces needed to be applied first. I'm just sticking these on with some Super Gold Plus CA glue from Bob Smith Industries, and then later on I will sand every single part with a 400 grit in order to get it ready for the primer to properly stick to it. After sanding and cleaning all of the parts, I moved on to primer. For these resin parts and metal parts, I'm using Tamiya Liquid Surface Primer. This is the same primer that you can buy in the spray cans, but just in a small bottle. You need to thin it a bit until it goes through the airbrush and then can properly paint it on with the airbrush, just going in thin layers and having a lot of control in all of the small areas, nooks and crannies. After applying primer to all of the individual parts that I was going to be painting for the interior, I let it sit and cure for about an hour and then started applying the main color first, which was Hemi Orange. I decided not to go overboard with the orange, so a lot of the other components for the interior were painted in a simple black. And a couple other pieces were a combination of the Hemi Orange and also black, so these were masked off once the orange was cured, and then the black was applied too, and then carefully the masking tape could be removed as well. After all of the parts had cured, I moved on to adding additional details, starting it off with some flocking for carpet on the interior, just applying a layer of semi-gloss clear for the flocking to stick to it, and then applying the USCP flocking. Now, I haven't really tried this flocking before as it's one of their new products. They send out some samples and it works really well. So if you want to try it out yourself, feel free to check out the USCP website and order some for your own. So I mentioned in the other videos that started this build that I was going to be speccing this out fully with carbon fiber, not only the exterior but the interior as well. So I made a lot of small templates, cut them out, and started applying them one by one and giving them a form and shape with some decal setting and softening solution as well. This took a bit of time. I've shown it a lot before, so I won't really be going over all these details. I will do for some of the exterior parts, so there's more videos to come on these carbon fiber decals in the future. Once all of the custom carbon fiber decals have been applied, I could move on to applying the kit decals as well for some additional details, logos, and emblems here and there. The decals are done, so I could do some more hand painting. This time I'm going to be applying some gunmetal and also some black to various areas. The gunmetal looks a bit too shiny for me, so I toned it down a bit with some Panelline accent color. In order to give a bit more detail to the seats themselves, I decided to paint this section in the center with a black just to contrast with the rest of the interior and just not make the seat look all orange. A couple more photo etch pieces could also be installed on some of the interior parts. I added some seat belts and could then assemble the rest of the interior. If you're going to be building this kit yourself, it is important to note that the dashboard and door panels cannot be glued onto the main interior tub. These need to be glued onto the body itself. So I'm just placing them loosely for some photos, and I'll see you guys in the next video.